The first sentence you say at your doctor's appointment decides whether your fatigue gets investigated or dismissed, not your symptoms. These 6 phrases kill your appointment. By the end of this video, you'll know those 6 phrases that cause a doctor to dismiss you and what to say instead so you get taken seriously. Hi, I'm Julie. I've been a registered nurse for over 30 years, and I've spent more than a decade getting dismissed before anyone took my thyroid issues seriously. Today, I'll show you what to say first to your doctor at your appointment, how to say it, and what to ask for so you'll walk out of your next appointment with answers and a plan. Let's get into it. The first phrase to take out of your vocabulary, I'm just so tired all the time. The word just is not getting you taken seriously. When you open with, I'm just so tired, you've already minimized your symptom before the doctor has a chance to. You've signaled your fatigue isn't urgent. And tired all the time is the most vague phrase in healthcare with no attached data. So the doctor's brain immediately reaches for the most common bucket: stress, sleep, mood, and done. So do this instead. Quantify it. I sleep 9 hours and wake up like I've been hit by a truck. By 2 p.m., I can't drive safely. This started in March and it hasn't improved. That's not fatigue. That's a clinical timeline with a functional impact. Doctors respond to data, so give them data. The next phrase to retire, I think it might be stress. So many women hand their doctor the diagnosis on a silver platter and then wonder why they got the wrong one. The second you suggest stress as the cause, you've handed your physician a tidy explanation that requires zero further workup. Why would they order a thyroid panel when you just told them it's probably your job? So here's what nobody tells you. Cortisol dysregulation, HPA axis dysfunction, and autoimmune flares all feel like stress from the inside. They mimic stress perfectly. So you might be right about the sensation, but completely wrong about the cause. And once it goes in your chart as stress, every future doctor filters everything else through that lens. Let your symptoms speak. Don't editorialize the cause. Diagnosing is your doctor's job. Speaking of stress and the nervous system, those of us with autoimmune disease have been stuck in fight or flight for decades, and you can't heal a body that thinks it's under attack. The one tool that I truly rely on and I wear every day and night to help with anxiety, sleep, and calm is the Apollo Neuro. It's a small wearable with gentle vibrations to your vagus nerve, and it shifts you out of chronic stress mode. It's the cortisol piece food and supplements could not fix for me. The link is in the description below if you'd like more information on that. Let's move on to phrase number 3. My last doctor said my labs were normal. This is the trap that I fell into for a decade. My TSH sat on the high end of normal, so nobody touched it. Nobody ran a free T3 or T4. Nobody ran reverse T3 or thyroid antibodies. Normal for me closed the door. And those years were the years my hypothyroidism quietly became full-blown Hashimoto's. When you tell a new doctor your labs are normal, you've just told them not to look. You've validated the previous workup and made it awkward to second guess a colleague, believe it or not, so they don't. Say this instead. I'd like to see those labs and go through them with you. I want the actual numbers, not just whether they fell inside the range. Reference ranges are population averages. They're not optimal functioning. A TSH of 3.8 is technically normal, and clinically miserable for most women who are symptomatic. You're allowed to ask for the functional conversation. Phrase number 4. I've already tried everything. I know why you say it. You're exhausted. You've been to 4 practitioners. You've been on elimination diets, supplements, magnesium. I was there. And you're tired of starting from scratch. But when you lead with, I've tried everything, the doctor hears non compliant and someone who won't follow what I prescribe. Or worse, somaticizing and shopping for a diagnosis. Both versions walk you to the door without answers and a plan. So do this instead. Reframe it. Bring a written list of what you've tried and for how long and what happened. You've tried strict gluten and dairy elimination for 90 days. Your joint pain has improved about 40%, but your fatigue just didn't change. That's not a tired patient. That's a partner in the investigation of what's going on. Doctors will lean in versus dismiss you because you've now just gave them the data that they can work with. If you're sitting there thinking, Julie, I don't even know where to start tracking all of this, I have made something just for you. My Autoimmune Relief and Energy Workbook. It tracks your symptoms, food, energy, sleep, and all the things you need to bring to your next appointment with your doctor to give them the data they need. It's free to you, and the link is in the description below. Now, the next one might be the one you've been doing wrong. Phrase number 5. I read online that it might be. You can be completely right about your diagnosis and still lose the doctor in the room the moment you say, I read it online. Even if the article was from the Mayo Clinic, it doesn't matter. That phrase, unfortunately, triggers defensiveness in the provider, and the conversation totally shifts from collaboration to gatekeeping. There's a way around this, though. Instead of saying, I read it might be Hashimoto's, try saying this. I'd like to rule out autoimmune thyroid disease. Can we run TPO and thyroglobulin antibodies? You're not diagnosing yourself. You're requesting a specific test by name. That's much harder to refuse than a vague worry. You're sharing the same information, only in a reframed, data-driven way. One more to go, and this one I really want you to pay attention to. The last phrase and the most important. I just want to feel like myself again. This one truly breaks my heart because it's the most honest thing any of us could say. We don't recognize the woman in the mirror anymore. We miss our energy, our brain, our patience with our kids. We just want us back. But in clinical language, I want to feel like myself again lands as emotional and vague. It doesn't trigger a workup. It triggers a referral to a therapist, a prescription for an antidepressant, or a recommendation to exercise more, none of which address the inflammation, the gut dysbiosis, the mitochondrial dysfunction, or the autoimmune cascade actually driving how you feel. At your appointment, translate this to 6 months ago, I was able to work 12-hour shifts and was still able to attend my daughter's game. Today, I can't even get through a grocery store without sitting in my car to rest afterwards. My cognitive function has measurably declined, and I really want to know why. It has the same heart, but it's the language your doctor will respond to. Every one of these 6 phrases is something a woman says when she's been worn down by years of not being heard. It is survival language, the linguistic equivalent of shrinking yourself so you take up less space in the room. You don't need to shrink anymore. Before you go, tell me in the comments, Which of these 6 phrases have you started your conversation with at your doctor's office? A woman out there is about to walk into her own appointment this week, and your story might be this thing that changes how she tells her story to her doctor. If this video hit home for you, please like and subscribe and share this with a woman who you know who is suffering with this because she really needs to hear this. Your body isn't broken, it's burdened. And when you understand those burdens, you can finally begin supporting your body in the way it's always needed all along. Thank you so much for being here with me today. And please take care of yourself because you deserve to feel better. And remember, we're all in this together. I'll see you in the next one.